The Canadatrek Exercise Companion System is copyright 1985 through 2023 by Greenwood Systems. Welcome to the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System. We have designed the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System to be both a motivating and educational exercise program for individual and/or group participation. Our philosophy and mission. The Canadatrek Exercise Companion System has been developed to provide you with an efficient, gradual program, allowing you to advance at a convenient pace. There is a program for walking, running, cycling, and swimming. Each program is designed to meet your needs, depending upon your level of fitness and sport interest. A unique feature of the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System is the ability to combine any of these previously mentioned activities, as well as other exercise routines. These could include activities such as rollerblading, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, etc. In addition, you can begin using the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System as soon as you start to undertake the training programs. There are 4 tabs related to cardiac data contained in the system. A description of how to record this information, and why it is important, is found in the Listen to Your Heart section of the training instructions, located on the Canadatrek website. This information can be found under the Using the System link within the website. The first tab within the Canadatrek system is the Resting Heart Rate tab. Within this tab, you will enter the number of heartbeats per minute you measure while resting. Enter the value in the appropriate data field within the left-hand column. When you click on the very first day in the column, a message is presented, indicating the range of values that can be entered. In this case, the range is between 40 beats per minute and 150 beats per minute. The next tab in the system is the Target Heart Rate Calculation tab. There are 2 methods of obtaining this calculation. The first is called a standard calculation, and the second is a Carvenan calculation. These methods will provide the heart rate target you should try to achieve during your exercise regime. To obtain the calculation, you start by entering your age, then select the power level, which is the fitness level you are currently at. The 3 power levels are beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The power level is selected from the list box. Be sure to choose the appropriate power level for your current fitness level. Once the data has been provided, the calculation will give you a target heart rate to aim for. In the Carvenan calculation, it uses the same 2 inputs, age and power level, as the standard calculation, but has a third element, which is your resting heart rate per minute. Using these values, this method provides you with target heart rate, which is slightly different from the standard calculation. The next tab is the Target Heart Rate chart. This tab is where you enter the highest number of heartbeats per minute you achieve during your exercise. These values are placed in the column to the left for the appropriate day. You should not attempt to exceed your target heart rate when exercising. The values that can be entered range between 60 beats per minute and 210 beats per minute. As with all the charts and graphs on each of the tabs, when the values in the data columns is changed, the graphs change and display the updated values. At the bottom of the chart, it provides an average target heart rate, based on the values entered in the data column. For the recovery cardiac chart, you will enter the number of seconds required for your heart rate to return to normal. The range of values accepted are between 30 seconds and 300 seconds. If it takes your heart longer than 300 seconds to recover, you should seriously consider seeing your physician for further testing. The chart also displays an average heart rate recovery time in seconds, based on the entered data. The daily distance chart contains several views and macro buttons available for use. The left-hand column again represents the days. This chart is where you will enter your information, according to the distance you have traveled that day. Be sure to save your data after you have entered the information. Within the chart there is also the ability to clear the data. This will clear all the values in the daily chart, and should be used to clear out the previously entered data, before starting a new month. Using the Retrieve Data button, you can specify a specific month and year to retrieve data for that specific month and year. The monthly distance chart uses the daily distance data, and sums it up by month, and populates this information within the appropriate month. The chart also provides the average monthly distance for the year. The yearly distance chart captures the data from the monthly chart, and places the total in the appropriate month, per year. Within the current application, the last year the system will accept data for, is the year 2040. The yearly distance chart also provides the average accumulated distance, per year. For the accumulated distance tabs, there is a tab for kilometers, and a tab for miles. All the daily data that you collect through the daily distance chart, is populated here. Within these two tabs, there are several sections that provide data, based on the distance traveled. The leftmost section, provides the listing of the current daily data. The next section to the right contains the from, distance markers, and the to, distance markers. These represent the various distance markers, that make up the locations you will trek to, as you travel across Canada. The locations within this view will change as the accumulated distance increases. For the distance markers, if you have traveled distance past some of the markers, you will see a completed indicator, in the distance to next column. The action column will indicate, bypass location. In the view selection macro area, there are several buttons you can use to call macros that perform various functions. For example, the next button, will take you to the next view, of distance locations. Whereas the previous button, will take you back to the previous view, of distance locations. You can also use the province macro buttons, to select the beginning distance marker location, for each of the various provinces. If you would like to search various distances, to see where you would be if you were at that particular distance, you would use the accumulated search selection. In this section, the list box contains a list of location distances that can be selected. Once you select a particular distance, this section provides the from marker location, the to marker location, the distance to the next marker, and the province where the from marker location resides. The accumulated kilometer tab, and the miles marker tab, presents the data in much the same manner, except the accumulated kilometer tab represents the data in kilometers, and the accumulated miles tab represents the data in miles. If you choose to measure your exercise distance in miles, then you would choose the accumulated miles tab. If you choose to measure your exercise distance in kilometers, then you would use the accumulated kilometers tab. Again, all the various macros are very similar in each of these two tabs. We hope you will find the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System a welcome addition to your exercise regime. The Canadatrek website distance charts contain links to the various distance marker locations. This will enable you to review information specific to these locations. These links will be updated on a regular basis to provide the most current information available. Note, the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System has two formats, one for Microsoft Excel, and one for LibreOffice Calc. For those unfamiliar with LibreOffice, LibreOffice is a free and open-source office productivity software suite. It is a project of the Document Foundation, and was derived in 2010 from OpenOffice.org, which was an open-source version of the earlier Star Office. The LibreOffice suite consists of programs for word processing, creating and editing of spreadsheets, slideshows, diagrams and drawings, working with databases, and composing mathematical formulae. If you do not use Microsoft Excel, and want to use the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System, you can download the LibreOffice suite at www.libreoffice.org/download/download LibreOffice. There is a link to this download link on the Canadatrek website. If you are a Microsoft Excel user, then you should use the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System specific to Microsoft Excel. If you use LibreOffice, then use the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System specific to LibreOffice. The reason for this distinction is while the macros for Excel often translate into LibreOffice Calc, the macros within the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System have been developed specifically for each of these applications. If you wish to purchase the Canadatrek Exercise Companion System to add to your exercise regime, there is a link on the Canadatrek website that will enable you to purchase and download the file. Thank you for taking the time to review this video. We wish you good health as you trek across Canada.